So this was again a fruitful year with many
That helped.
Ja. Last year.
design voor die scope.
Ja, maar thuis.
Voor goed.
Adelante, todo después.
Other click button, please. 21, 23.
Nacho.
Ja, wel leuk hoor. Het is lang.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the cortege of professors.
Might seem crazy what I wanna say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Clap along if you feel like a room without a room. Come on! Clap along if you feel like happiness is a truth. Clap along if you feel like what you wanna do. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here comes a bad, he's talking this and that. I should probably warn you, it's not getting. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why, come on! Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is a truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down, my level's too high. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down, yeah. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down, my level's too high. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down. Come along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Clap along if you feel like that's happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you feel like happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Thank you.
Wow. Before I start, may I ask everyone to switch off their mobile phones, please? Thank you. Students, honored guests, colleagues, beloved family members, not only the ones present here, but also those who are following the ceremony via the internet. Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the UNESCO-IHE Institute for Water Education's closing ceremony of the academic period 2012-2014. When the cortege entered, you heard the song Happy, performed by our professors, Dr. Mainet and Dr. Roeving, and our student, Alia Rohendi. I think they deserve another round of applause, huh? Yes. And probably the rest of Alia's career here at IHE, I think his name will be Pharrell. And he doesn't even mind. My dear graduating students, referring to that song, Happy, That word expresses very well how you all look right now. I wish I had this huge mirror so you could see for yourself. Oh wait, I don't have a mirror. I might as well just take a photo. Mr. Photographer, can you take a photo from where I am standing so that in a decade from now or so, these graduating participants can look back at the photo again and bring back that feeling that they are having right now. Now they're still a bit stressed because they have to get on stage. Oh no! I see that on your faces as well. But luckily the happiness jumps right through it. Thank you. Look at you. You are sitting here together with your fellow graduates, dressed up, smiling from ear to ear. Sorry for that. I'm so proud of you. This is really one of those days that I'm extremely aware of the magic of this institute. It is one of those days where you can see what perseverance and sacrifice brings to people when they accomplish what they've wanted for so long. I've spoken to several of you, and what I heard each time is that this master degree that you will receive today, it opens doors for you. It brings, or it helps bringing a bright future. When I was thinking about what to say to you today, 3 words popped up, and they never left my mind anymore. Choice, chance, and change. You made a choice, you took the chance, and you will make a change. Easy to say, right? So now let's take a closer look to those words. You made a choice. Correct. Most of you will remember this experience as not at all an easy choice. Many of you had to leave their families behind, your fiancé, a family member who was ill and you were struggling with leaving that person behind or just stay. Some had to leave their newborn baby behind or a pregnant wife. But still, because you had in mind what this could mean for your future, for the future of your children, of your families, of your region, you had the courage to take that step and to make that choice. In other words, you took a chance. Yes, you took a chance, and that brought you where you are right now. You've acquired knowledge to bring back to your country or region. You've acquired a great deal of personal growth as well. You met all kinds of people from cultures you have never even dreamed of. You dealt with a lot, you coped with a lot, and you shared a lot. There's a big chance that the friendships that you made here will be for the rest of your lifetime. So you took the chance and you learned many lessons in many aspects, not only academically but in life as well. That is what makes this experience at UNESCO-IHE so valuable. Your lessons of life here are embedded in an international environment, giving you the opportunity to broaden your perspective, your mind, everything. You've broadened your horizon, and now you are able to share it back home, in all its perspectives. And you know what strikes me? That you, my dear graduates, and now I come to the 3rd word, you are the ones who are actually really able to make a change. This institute is all about a topic that will just never stop. Water. No matter whether too much or too little, the need to deal with it is always there. Water is a topic that is of interest to everybody, everywhere, all over the world. And you made this choice to make it part of your profession. So yes, of all the people all over the world, you can make a change. Today you will receive your master's degree. You'll be standing here on stage and have your personal 15 seconds of fame. Oh no. If you're frightened to step on stage, you got another hour to get used to the idea, so relax for now. You are our new generation of water ambassadors, the future of global water management, one of the most critical sectors for development, progress, addressing poverty, gender, and health. I'm confident that you will share this international experience along with the newly acquired knowledge as much as possible with others, so that your home country or wherever else you may end up will also profit from your personal investment and hard work. So get yourselves ready to make a difference in this world, because you are the ones who actually can. You made a choice, you took a chance, and now it's up to you to make a change. Change the world. So I basically give you a large task to go home with. Huh? Oh yeah, go out, change the world. But while you are making a change, don't forget, you are not alone in this. Starting from today, you are part of the UNESCO-IHE alumni. You've created a great professional and social network here. Don't be afraid to use it via LinkedIn, Facebook, email. Making a change works even better when people work on it together. Share with us how you're making a change. Share it with your IHE family. So since we have many things to do this afternoon, I would like to, without further ado, invite Professor Andres Soleginaj, UNESCO-IHE's rector, on stage to give his opening address.
Thank you. What a place. Even the jazz band is full of professors. Imagine the rest. Lord Mayor, Chairman of the UNESCO-IHE Governing Board, Mr. Holzwaard, representatives of the Dutch government, ambassadors, excellencies, graduating Masters of Science, family members who traveled from far, fellow professors, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the awarding of the Master of Science degrees of the 2012-2014 program. Today, we are gathered in this beautiful old church to honor and celebrate 150 participants from 84 countries for their hard work. More will come later. But to start with, let me take you back, dear new graduates, to October 2012, to a lovely, foggy, cold Delft day when you all came. Do you remember arriving that first week? Everything was new and unfamiliar. You had to become friends with the cold, the rain, and the wind, whether you liked it or not. Many locals warned you. You think this is bad? It's not even winter yet. Some of your friends in the senior class told you, man, if you think that IHE stands for International Holiday in Europe, let alone interesting honeymoon in Europe, you're dead wrong. It stands for International Hydraulic Execution or Infinitely Horrible Examinations. Suddenly, you had to use a bicycle as your primary means of transportation. Some of you might have learned that this vehicle in Holland is part of a miraculous cycle, except that one is always missing. Tough luck if it's yours. You may have tried your first stroopwafel and matjes with onions, and the culinarily challenging nouvelle cuisine stampot with zuurkool. You learned how to say alsjeblieft, dankjewel, aanbieding, and some even ik hou van jou. As you can hear from my terrible accent, the later sentence I didn't practice quite some time. But dear colleagues, because that's what you are from now on, soon you will be given your Masters of Science degree. You will realize that 3,000 hours of study, attending lectures, workshops, field trips, reading dozens of papers, surviving some less sparking lectures, studying hard for exams, and even struggling to write your thesis, some with too few and others with too many pages. Yeah, well, as the professor said, wasn't it all really worth it? Graduates, I hope that this unique experience connecting with people from countries around the world in the best spirit of the United Nations and UNESCO has taught you that water connects and doesn't divide. It's a source of cooperation and not that of conflict. With the new technical knowledge acquired, you have new responsibilities as well. On your return home, you will be called upon soon to lead. Never forget that leadership is service. It is working to serve the community for human and societal development and justice. Your contribution to using sound judgment to finding appropriate and sustainable solutions based on solid ethical principles and the notion of integrity to key water issues is vital. No less than to sustainably manage one of the world's most scarce resources for future generations to come. The sustainability of our whole world depends on water. Soon you will receive a gift, the Water Wisdom book, which will be an addition to your diploma and contains some personal words of wisdom and encouragement from alumni before you. The graduates before you together form the UNESCO-IHE alumni community of nearly 15,000 water professionals. Today, you became part of that community. From now on, you are also part of UNESCO's larger water family. In this regard, I would like to encourage you to contact your National Committee for UNESCO's International Hydrological Program and see how you can best help as well as benefit from the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to mention that today is also a special occasion for a number of reasons. First, we will award the first 4 graduates of the Masters of Science in Limnology and Wetland Management. They graduate today as a result of a fruitful collaboration between UNESCO-IHE, the University of Egerton in Kenya, and the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences, Bodenkultur, in Vienna, Austria. Second, we celebrate the successful graduations of colleagues from UNESCO HydroX, located in Frutal, Minas Gerais, Brazil, within the framework of our partnership. Then we have today the first 5 Uruguayan graduates who graduate within the cooperation between Uruguay and UNESCO. And last but not least, I'm happy to announce the first 5 graduates of the Rotary International Funded Scholars. Finally, please allow me to thank the teaching staff, from lecturers to professors, the great number of guest lecturers, academic mentors, partners involved in our joint programs, administrative and support staff, for the hard work and dedication in the past 18 months to work towards your success that we all happily witness today. Taking this opportunity, I would also like to thank the Dutch government and institutions for the generous support that made your graduation today possible. At the same time, I would also like to thank the Dutch people, and particularly the citizens of Delft, this magnificent city, for all the help and assistance during your stay here. Duizendmaal bedankt. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor now to introduce today's graduation speaker, Dr. Fritz Holzwarth, the chairperson of the governing board of UNESCO-IHE. Let me invite Dr. Holzwarth on stage to address the graduating class and to invite him to share with you his wisdom of several decades, not many, several decades, and to give you some pretty useful advice. Thank you. Fritz?
Graduating Masters of Science family members, Lord Mayor, Rector, professors, lecturers, members of the diplomatic community, colleagues from the two foundations, ladies and gentlemen. What is so special when we are doing this graduation and closing ceremony after 2 years of hard work? And I remembered 2 stories they had been told. They show clearly how special this institute is. There was years ago a young man from Burundi. He liked to become a student in this institute. And for a European, unbelievable. He walked 18 hours to the next post office that he was able to send the application to Delft. For a European, this is something unbelievable. The second thing is, there was years ago a young lady from Iraq. She was here for a few days and then got the message that her husband were killed in the war. She went back to Iraq, buried her husband, put the 18-month-old child to her mother, and went back to Delft. I think these 2 stories show very clearly that this is a very special institute. And this is a very special day we are celebrating together. And this very special institution, the UNESCO-IHE, lives from all the contributions of the students, the lecturers and the professors. And I would have liked that the UNESCO headquarters in Paris would much more see this institute as a flagship for UNESCO's mission. If you look to the mission statement of UNESCO, if you take the old one or the new one, I think it becomes clear that this institute unifies all the components UNESCO is working for: mobilizing education, building intercultural understanding, pursuing scientific cooperation and make sure that the environment is managed sustainably. I think no other institution in UNESCO could better serve as a flagship than this institute. And at the same time, this is also a flagship for the host country, the Netherlands. I know the Netherlands have a lot of academic flagships, no doubt about that. But this is a very special and unique flagship where a lot of people from all over the world were trained, and they go back with a lot of memories, not only about the academic and scientific things they learned, but also about the hospitality in this country. So also the Netherlands should see this institute as a flagship of international cooperation and international education. Now you get your master's degree today. And if a doctor would get the paper, he is asked to swear on the Hippocratic Oath. And this is something what means that you have to be very honest in doing your profession. Water professionals have not such an oath. But if we would have such an oath, I think we would have to include a clear commitment and a clear dedication to solving water challenges worldwide, on a regional and on a local level, for one important purpose: to improve livelihood. And this should be the message you carry on from today. You are now qualified as water professional, and the challenges lay on the streets. It's the end of the golden age of water. If you go back in a lot of countries and you see the situation of economic growth, then only a very few people are looking what is the real cause for such growth. And only a few people will see water as the most important incentive for economic growth. So this golden age is coming to an end, and the challenge is that you, with all your knowledge and your education, help not simply find more technologies, they are more efficient. I think what we need, if we work serious with water, then we have to be clear that water demands a true respect. This is not a minor issue where you can discuss technology. This is an issue which goes deeper. I think identifying problems. We have a lot of people, they know very well what are the water problems we are facing, what we are looking for, and what the challenge is for you to find solutions. And then there is an important difference with what you did during your Master of Science studies. If you are in the academic world, you always have to be perfect. Perfection is an underlying melody in what we are doing in science. If you go with this underlying melody back into practice, this will lead us to inaction. So you have to learn what you learned during your study, that a pragmatic approach is essential if you like to change things on the ground. And probably the second or the third best solution is much more important to change things than to wait for the first best or the perfect solution. The other thing is that sometimes the water community has its own language, has its own attitude, and I think what you should avoid is to become a single issue specialist or a single issue lobbyist. I think you should see the cross-sectoral elements they are in the water issue, and do not shy away from complexity. It is complex if you see all the interdependencies of water. So try to find solutions where you apply the nexus approach, where water, agriculture, energy, industry, environment, and ecology are taken into account. I think this is a great day for you. And I think this, what you got through the 2 years in Delft, is something what you can carry and what opens doors. And I wish you that you have good luck in the future, that you find open doors, that you knock at the doors of your national IHPs, and what is also important, to keep in touch with the alumni network of this institute. I like at the end to say one word, because this ceremony is unique also for another reason. This is the last closing ceremony of our rector. And I think that a big part why this institute became so unique, a big part lies in your hands, together with the academic staff and the others. And I think your leadership, your professional integrity, your strong analytical skills, they were the driving force of this institute. And what was always important for me, normally scientists have to be neutral. But you had been never neutral if we discussed the future of the institute and the strategic lines for the next 5 or 10 years. So I think this is a reason to give and join hands for the rector, please. I would like to end with a quote from Sir Francis Bacon. In this theatre of man's life, it is reserved only for gods and for angels to be lookers on. You have to act from today, and this is what is requested from your side. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Fritz. The latest part, what the chairman said, was not a part of the scenario. And if this institute was successful, and I believe it is, it's basically because of those guys who are there. And because of you. So when you go home, you become a father and mother, and a couple of years you're going to be a grandmother, grandfather. Send your children here. Years back, we started to have discussions with one of actually the largest NGO in the world, with 1.2 million members, who made tremendous difference over the past nearly 100 years. And that's the Rotary International. This is my great honor to introduce now Paul Kneif, who represents Rotary. He was the director of Rotary International with an amazing career from veterinary things all the way to conflict resolution and others. Paul was instrumental to arrange the agreement between Rotary International and UNESCO-IHE to provide scholarships for young, talented experts from the developing countries, and we are very thankful. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my great honor to invite my fellow Rotarian, Paul Kneif.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation, I would like to thank UNESCO-IHE for the fruitful partnership that has evolved over the last couple of years. Rotary International has demonstrated how important this partnership is. My spouse Rita and I have had the pleasure of accompanying 2 international presidents to this Institute for Water Education, President Kalyan Banerjee and his spouse Binota in March 2012, and President Sakuji Tanaka in November 2012. I assure you, it's exceptional a Rotary International president visits this country more often than once in 10 years, let alone twice in 1 calendar year. For Rita and me, it's an honor today to represent Rotary leadership. On behalf of 20,000 Rotarians in the Netherlands in general, and especially on behalf of the local district 1600, representing some 2,800 Rotarians, I can tell you how privileged we feel to live in a country where this cooperation is operational. This feeling has given many local Rotarians inspiration to contribute to the success. I'm referring to the District 600 leadership in this area, committees and regional clubs. I don't intend to mention names, but there is one exception. I want to acknowledge the exemplary effort of Rotary Host Area Coordinator Henk-Jaap Kloosterman. But let's focus on the students who are the subject of this ceremony. They are the living evidence of the success of this joint effort that Rotary and UNESCO-IHE have embarked upon. I mention their names: Godfrey Baguma, Kenechukwu Kaisi Okoli, Temesken Adamu, Bernice Asamoah, and Gonzalo Duro. They all have successfully completed their master's studies at UNESCO-IHE, sponsored by Rotary. For all of them, the journey has not finished yet. They will return to their countries, Uganda, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Argentina in the next couple of weeks. There they will start to work with their sponsoring Rotary clubs in their home countries to improve water management and sanitation situation, building on the newly acquired skills at UNESCO-IHE. They are the first graduates in a hopefully long tradition now being established. In 2013, another group of 16 students sponsored by Rotary started at UNESCO-IHE. And this year, we are planning for the third class of Rotary scholars. Today is an extremely important milestone for the partnership. I would like to invite Andras Tsazelli-Nagy, Rector of UNESCO-IHE, to come to the stage. He is on stage, but to come next to me, and to be so kind to accept an especially designed Delft blue tile. This token is designed to commemorate the success of the UNESCO-IHE partnership with Rotary. Each of the Rotary students, as well as some key UNESCO-IHE staff members and Rotarians, will receive this tile as well. But in view of the limited time, we will do this after the formal ceremony has finished. Looking back on a very successful start of the partnership and looking forward for much more success to come, I would like to thank you for your attention. And I would like to present you. Thank you very much for your support.
According to the scenario, I have to get lost now.
Thank you both. And now, to make this special event even more cheerful, it is time for a short intermission performance, performed by 6 of our Rondies participants: Gemma, Joy, Adeline, Bertin, Olivier and Jean-Baptiste. They will perform a beautiful dance that will give you a glimpse of the unknown beauty of Rwanda. Let's give them a loud round of applause, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an occasion where we award a prestigious award to people who have made outstanding contributions to our science and helped this institute for a long, long period. This is called the UNESCO-IHE Honorary Fellow Award, which you can see the photos of those eminent personalities in the antechamber of the Prinsenkammer. Those people who changed our life by making fundamental contributions in hydraulics, in hydrology, water supply, sanitary technologies. Those who not only changed our life, but changed how we live and changed the world. Today, I have the honor to introduce the recipient of the Honorary Fellow Award this year that the Academic Board has given to Professor Brian Moss. With this nomination, the Institute recognizes the eminent contributions Professor Moss has made in the science of biology, and particularly ecosystems, complex ecosystems, the functioning of biogeochemical cycles in there. And also his dedication and support to the activities of UNESCO-IHE for several decades. I would like to invite now Professor Moss, along with Professor Ken Irvine, the Professor of Aquatic Ecosystems at UNESCO, to come to the stage. The laudatio will be delivered by Professor Irvine.
Thank you, Andres. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow academics, dignitaries, and particularly today's graduates of UNESCO-IHE. It is actually my privilege to provide the laudation for Professor Brian Moss, especially known for his research on the nutrient enrichment of shallow lakes through an ecosystem approach. His works covered all parts of the globe and the globe's waterscapes. So I was asked to do this laudation. So I checked out, what does it really mean? Laudatio is a Latin meaning praise or a tribute. It can also mean appreciation, acclaim, recognition, commendation, or even simply a good word. So, Professor Moss, Brian, I would like to offer you some good words. Some good words on your inspiring teaching of undergraduates, postgraduates, and fellow scientists to understand through scholarship not only lakes, but also other water bodies, and their connection to the landscape, the simple reality that all things are indeed connected, and your curiosity and your dedication over an illustrious career to understand how things work. Some good words about your search for knowledge and merit of challenging the status quo, not accepting on face value the noise of administrative systems or the rhetoric of vested interests, to have an idea and test it through careful observation and experiment in the laboratory and at the scale of whole lakes, in asking the right questions, for example, about the possible effects of climate change and creating large outdoor mesocosms, temperature controlled, to test those ideas. Some good words on your belief to environmental problems are not found, the belief that to solutions to environmental problems are not found only in the pages of learned scientific journals, but through effective communication to wider audiences to help understanding and appreciation of the natural world. Communicating how current management of pollution, landscapes, and indeed political systems need to take account of ecology if we are to find solutions to our wicked environmental problems. Some good words on how you look to history to find the solutions to the future, and to art and to literature to find synergies with science for delivering scientific results. How you communicate your knowledge in inspiring and often unusual ways, which I've witnessed on a number of occasions. Recognition of your achievements have come from many quarters. It has come from your great textbooks on freshwater ecology and the Norfolk Broads. It has come from distinguished lifelong contributions to the theory and practice of limnology and awards to that effect. The Society of International Limnology August Thurman Iman Nauman Medal for your contribution to the subject of limnology. The British Ecological Society Marsh Book of the Year, an interesting pun, play on words, Marsh Book of the Year for your book Liberation Ecology, itself the result of an award by the International Ecology Institute. More recently, you even managed to be the lead double bass in the Southport Orchestra, close to where you live, in Liverpool, in England, where you seem to prefer, according to the website of that auspicious institution, you prefer to travel hopelessly than arrive in your musical career. But here you have arrived. You have arrived here at the 2014 graduation of UNESCO-IHE to accept another accolade as Honorary Fellowship of the Institute. So, Professor Moss, I am delighted that you accepted this award, and I very much look forward to the Institute's graduates and staff benefiting from your inspiring science and your extraordinary insight. Thank you very much.
Professor Moss, on behalf of the Academic Board of UNESCO-IHE, this is my great honor to hand over to you this honorary fellowship. Oh, we have to show it. All right.
Rector, Chairman of the governing body, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to accept the honour of this fellowship from the UNESCO-IHE Institute of Water Education for many reasons, but I will talk about just 3 of them this afternoon. The first concerns the nature of universities. Their essence is to question everything, no matter how convenient this is either to themselves or to governments or to vested interests of all kinds. At their heart is research, and from that research comes teaching that changes all the time as new understanding is gained. Their curricula should not be fixed, their courses must constantly alter, their staff need to be restless, indeed often anarchic, because what alone matters is what is true and what is not, what is right and what is wrong. It is the greatest privilege to be recognized by such institutions, and I share that with those of you receiving degrees today. The United Nations has been a positive force in trying to achieve justice and fairness for all people. I am thus proud to be associated with a university that has also been adopted by UNESCO to help achieve its goals. I'm also very happy that IHE focuses on water. I have a dog, and dogs have an admirable attitude to water. My present dog never avoids a pool or puddle, never fails, no matter how cold the day, to jump in and roll in the mud. He has a hunger for new things that sends him poking into the reeds and would make an excellent member of staff of an Institute of Water Research for Dogs. My wife, who sees a reasonably clean house as a good thing, is not too happy about the mud, but I am very sympathetic. I too have always had an affinity for water and mud, and this has also got me into trouble many times. It started 50 years ago when my wife's mother was quite shocked when I set up trays of muddy water on her new dining table to examine animals from streams, especially since I put one of her best tablecloths on first to protect the wood. Fortunately, my father-in-law was a water engineer and was able to appreciate the leeches and beetles, the mayflies and the water mites, and to point out to my mother-in-law that tablecloths could easily be washed. I see landscapes and societies in terms of how they relate to water. IHE also brings together people concerned with all aspects of water and pays admirable attention to the role of wetlands. One past professor here gave an inaugural lecture called Gaia's Kidneys, in which he drew attention to the idea, the Gaia hypothesis, that the surface of the Earth, our living space, is regulated by natural systems in a state that keeps temperatures mostly within the limits in which liquid water can exist. That, of course, is the most basic requirement for life. It is so familiar that we tend to forget it and damage these natural systems for our short-term convenience. And that, I think, has been a grave mistake. In our economics, we have treated natural systems as externalities. We could not easily put financial values on them, so we ignored them. But like the account books of a business, the income and the expenditure must balance. Improvement in the business demands a small profit, but the profit does not come from nowhere. It comes partly from the externalities. We can sustain a small profit because the Earth's resources are quite large, but we cannot sustain a large one. So when large international corporations boast of how much money they are making, we should not necessarily admire them. We should closely investigate them, because those profits come from the hard toil of poor people, from the wastage of resources that are not renewable, and from an arrogant disregard of the living organisms on which we depend for the air that we breathe. We have to become less greedy. Lastly, I am happy to be among you in my red and pink gown as a fellow parrot. That is not to deride our black-gowned colleagues over there, because ravens and rooks, crows and jackdaws are very clever birds. But it is to recognize the value of diversity in all things. Ecologists are mindful of diversity. It is an insurance policy for keeping ecosystems functioning when natural changes threaten them. In human terms, a diversity of cultures is also a strength. The world is becoming more uniform. I was once horrified to see a television advertisement for the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank, which said it did not have a branch in Antarctica, yet. And we talk about McDonaldization as the world becomes more uniform. I have worked with people from lands as different as America and Bangladesh, Finland and Tanzania, and always I have learned something valuable from their cultures, sometimes to take intellectual risks, sometimes to adopt more gentle ways, sometimes to be more tolerant, but always to value others. Learning from different cultures and respecting their integrity will contribute much more to human welfare than trying to impose a single model based on what is currently most convenient to the rich and powerful. I hope that you will marry the specific wisdom of your own cultures with the learning you have acquired at IHE for the benefit of everyone. That is the fundamental aim of the United Nations in what has always been and remains a troubled world, but one that together I hope we can make happier. So there are my first three reasons for being pleased and honoured to be here today. The recognition by IHE among universities, which I see as more important for humanity than any other institution, because at their base is truth, not propaganda. Secondly, the importance of water. And thirdly, the collective value of our diversity. Director, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you once again.
Thank you very much. The essence of science is to question. So my question is, why don't we have such a colorful toga instead of this boring black thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite a duo of student representatives, Ms. Maria Salingay from the Philippines and Mr. Tom Ogo from Kenya, to the stage to give their address. And they will share some inspirational words with the graduating students.
Wow. Someone once said a speech should be like a miniskirt. Short enough to be interesting, but long enough to cover the subject. So feel free to interrupt us if what we present resembles a gown. 559. Maybe you might be wondering what those digits mean. 559 are the days that we've been wondering if we will make it to this day, since today marks the culmination of the 559 days journey, and we are graduating, class of 2014. We made it, guys. We made it. Graduation is one of those awkward times in our lives when we are torn between the joy of our memories and the excitement of our future. I remember a few years back on my undergraduate graduation, I received a text message from a friend saying, and I quote, "Please accept my sincerest condolences on the fateful expiration of your ability to avoid reality." End of quote. Glad there is no such text this time round. But before we look back on what were the greatest moments in IHE and the Netherlands, Maria, shouldn't we recognize the good people present here?
Yes, we should, Tom. Thank you. Chairman of the Governing Board of UNESCO-IHE, Dr. Fritz Hulsworth, Rotary International Director, Paul Knife, IHE Honorary Fellow, Professor Brian Moose, IHE Rector, Professor Andres Lucy Nodge, Rectorates, Professor Stefan Olenbroek and Grit Vink, His and Her Excellencies, Ambassadors to the different countries present here this afternoon, IHE professors, staff, non-teaching staff, distinguished guests, fellow graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Before we go on to confirm how good the afternoon is, we would also like to recognize the presence of a special group of people.
And who are they?
I think those who have accidentally walked in thinking this is a church service.
Yeah, to be representing more than 150 IHE MSc graduates of 68 nationality is indeed an honor for both of us. We will share to you our experiences, thoughts, and visions. We know you all have wonderful ideas too, but we call it quite fortunate for both of us, and it is also luck to be given the task to be your voice.
When we first entered UNESCO-IHE, we were so excited and infused on the prospects of what lied ahead. But in looking back, we now have every reason to reflect the importance of this institution, the values of education and problem-solving abilities it has bestowed upon us. We must also reflect on the architects of the programs and their invaluable contributions. It behooves us to use the knowledge and experience gained to somehow positively influence the thinking of the people in our countries, our regions, and the world at large, so as to collectively identify themselves with a common goal of sustainably utilizing the resources in our environment. And in line with that, our guest speaker has clearly articulated this in detail. We were filled with excitement and great expectations on the October of 2012. We took on to Delft with a step of faith. We all had dreams because we knew that we will be exposed to an experience so noble. This marked one of the few times in life when one is excited to meet the unknown. But now I can say from experience, this kind of unknown clearly was not the international holiday in Europe, as the rector would like used to put it. By being here today, experience has taught us that through working hard and smart, anything is possible. To achieve success, it requires belief in oneself, and in this will inevitably lead to consistency and self-discipline. We also have learned that true friendship is not common, and that we can identify its existence or its presence because it will be wrapped in trust and sealed with kindness. IHE is a place which, upon our entrance, has taught us that the concept of regional integration through our professions is possible. This is where the amalgamation of different people from different places has spawned an unmeasured sense of comradeship. The embracing of diverse cultures, so unique, is a proof of what it is to be a true global citizen. Most of us love meeting new people, learning what makes them who they are, and them learning what makes us who we are. So unique, but so much alike. IHE provides this opportunity like none other. The MS Master's degree we receive today represents success and achievement, but we must remember more the journey that accompanied this achievement, both the heartaches and the happy times. If we compare our lives to a thesis report, the certificate itself will just be tucked away in the appendix, while the journey to attain it fills the main pages. IHE has instilled in us a tremendous fire, a passion for life, and a desire to make the world in which we live better.
Now, talking about experiences, the international field trip, it is where, for the first time in IHE, words like good, fun, exciting was used in the same sentence in the campus. Places of destination were France, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, and USA. In the water management class where I belong, it was Spain and Portugal. Our 7 mentors in water management made it quite challenging, but very rewarding. From the analysis of daily water samples after dinner at 10 p.m. to daily interviews with matching Spanish translation of key government officials, mayors to presidents of Diputacion, with local journalists with microphone and huge camera on our faces, and being on the front cover of local newspaper was quite an experience. Not counting the regular discussion during meals and in between breaks among members of who will ask such questions to avoid repetition and maximize time. The experience, more or less, prepared me in my real research work in Canto City, Vietnam, under the mentorship of the Flood Resilient Group of IHE. Despite cultural differences, from colors to race, religion to educational, financial, or political background, a strong bond was formed in each one of us. A strong, lasting friendship that unites us together. Cannot be measured by time spent, but deeply rooted with respect, truthfulness, sincerity, concern, and sensitivity to one's feelings.
Among some of the things that we experienced and learned while studying here, time management. I know most of you can relate with that. The Dutch do really keep time. Because I know someone say that Africa was given time, but I now believe Europe was given the watch. In relation to time, a colleague was once asked why he's always late. He says he's never late, rather he's chronologically challenged. I also remember the adventures that the bikings provided. I had this privilege of accompanying 5 lovely ladies from IHE to bike from Delft to the Rotterdam and then take a boat to Kinderdijk. It was a very interesting experience, and I must say I was the only guy among 5 ladies, and I felt like a king.
Yeah, I'm one of them, King George. Yeah? A lot of friends were asking me what kept me motivated despite all the challenging academic requirements. And I have thick face to make things going. I accept failures, discouragement, obstacle, and detractors as part of life. They are my drivers that keep me going to achieve higher heights and keep me motivated to prove more and show my potential to the fullest. To my fellow graduates, there are bigger classrooms and research areas out there waiting for us to make a change. The difficulties that we have encountered in our studies in IHE are just tip of the iceberg. Out there is reality, very challenging and very tough. We will be graded by our quickness in making decisions, flexibility in dealing with people, and the practical application of the concept we gain from our professors in IHE. As future water leaders, we are expected to make a change in this changing world.
Allow me to quote Neil Gaiman. He said, irrespective of the ongoings in life, be wise, because the world needs more wisdom. But if you cannot be wise, pretend to be someone who is wise, and then just behave like the world. We are expected to be of service to our communities and our countries. Remember, service is the rent you pay for your stay in this planet.
Yeah, Tom, we must not forget how we arrived here today, and thanks must be given, right?
Sure.
Our experiences as Student Association Executive Board, together with Maria Clemens of Germany and Santosa Putra of Indonesia, were so enriching and rewarding. Can we request Maria and Santosa to please stand and to be recognized? Santosa. No. Thank you so much. We would also like to thank each and every one of you for your cooperation and participation, especially to the chairs and secretaries of the working groups and the class representative. Can you please stand to be recognized? Working group secretaries, chair, and the class representative. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. We are also grateful to the following: the Rector, the Rectorate for the full support to our activities, our professors and guest lecturers for sharing to us your knowledge and experiences, IHE staff, non-teaching staff, organizations that funded our scholarship, Dutch friends, and ISC family for the moral and spiritual support. Of course, our family back home. We love you and we miss you a lot. Thank you for being strong and normal despite our absence. And lastly, for God Almighty, thank you so much for guiding and protecting us at all times. And lastly, we would say, as future world water leaders, the relationship we have here, if harnessed to the fullest, will unite a number of countries together and make this earth a better world to live in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Tom. As Tom has said, you made it. So once again, thank you for all the efforts you put into reaching this moment. And now the real stuff starts.
Okay, so now that you have been inspired, it's time to proceed with the formal part, the diploma awarding ceremony. After over 18 months of hard work, the time has come for your efforts to be recognized. Our experience tells that once you have received your degree, your focus tends to float a little. So I already mentioned it now, before you have the tube in your hand. Please go back to your seats after you have been given your diploma on stage, as there will be many, many more graduates to receive their degree. Once the ceremony is finished and the cortege leaves the room, I will ask all graduates to gather in the corner of in the back, up there, and look up for a group photo. After that photo has been taken, all other guests are welcome to join the refreshments, and congratulations. Okay, so this is it. We will start with the awarding of the environmental science students. I would first like to ask the Environmental Science Program Coordinator Edwin Hess to the stage. And I also call on stage Professor Irvine. Start with the first one, Ms. Abdie from Ethiopia. Ms. Amono from Ghana. Ms. Sinkuzu from Zambia. And with distinction, Ms. Hazovic Biljat from Bosnia and Herzegovina. This might take a while. Mr. Khan from Afghanistan. Mr. Kefliesus from Eritrea. Ms. Yanto from Philippines. Ms. Machazi from Zimbabwe. Ms. Naderi from Iran. Mr. Omare from Kenya. Mr. Wirajasa from Indonesia. Thank you, Professor Irvine. I now call on stage Professor Lenz. Ms. Bajagan Harandi from Iran. Mr. Dominic from Tanzania. Ms. El Khalifa from Sudan. And Ms. Fanta from Ethiopia. Ms. Fayesa from Ethiopia. Ms. Hafez from Jordan. Mr. Hakorimana from Rwanda. Ms. Kayode from Nigeria. Ms. Martins Pereira Horta from Brazil. And Ms. Nangmenyele from Ghana. Mr. Opalanse from Nigeria. Ms. Rahman from Bangladesh. And Mr. Umugwaneza from Rwanda. Thank you, Professor Lenz. I now call back on stage Professor Irvine. And we continue with Mr. Edewi from Nigeria. Ms. Makoka from Kenya. Ms. Murangwa from Rwanda. Ms. Perez Ruby from Nicaragua. And Ms. Shakia with distinction from Nepal. And we continue with the LWM specialization. First, Ms. Kyumokawa from Uganda. Ms. Namakula from Uganda. Mr. Omoding from Uganda. And Ms. Sharma from Nepal. As the rector already mentioned in his speech, this already special occasion is even more special to the Institute because these 4 graduates are the first 4 ever to receive a joint degree master diploma. So I would like to ask Professor Solzhenitsyn again on stage, as well as Dr. Hans van Bruggen, who was instrumental in developing the cooperation between UNESCO-IHE, the University of Egerton in Kenya, and the University of Natural Resources and Life Science in Vienna. Just a short photo moment. Thank you all. This brings us to the Municipal Water and Infrastructure Program. I would first like to ask the coordinator, Tineke Hoijmans, to the stage. And I also call on stage Professor Vujanovic. Ms. Asamoah from Ghana. Mr. Baguma from Uganda. Ms. Garcia Pizarosa from Uruguay. Ladies and gentlemen, with distinction, Ms. Bentancur Caballero from Uruguay. And as well, with distinction, Mr. Bogas Fittipaldo from Uruguay. Ms. González Perez from Nicaragua. Mr. Hagos from Ethiopia. Ms. Ayhambo from Namibia. Mr. Herat from Sri Lanka. With distinction, Mr. Jayawardena from Sri Lanka. Mr. Kebede from Ethiopia. Mr. Makata from South Africa. Mr. Malambo from Zambia. Ms. Nobela from South Africa. And Ms. Rasheta from Serbia. Mr. Rueye Mamu from Tanzania. Mr. Saul from India. Ladies and gentlemen, with distinction, Ms. Sabo Corbacho from Uruguay. And with distinction, Mr. Mamani Casilla from Bolivia. Mr. Mamani Casilla, would you please stay on stage for a moment? The rector has already come to the stage. I give the floor to the rector.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, when Dami says like this, then I have to go or come. There's a special announcement here, which I have to make. I know, I'm not going to show it. To Grover Hector. Do you want to get $5,000? Well, what happened is that we have a project which is financed and supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on sanitary engineering. Within that program, within that project, the Gates Foundation is funding 60 Master of Science students, 20 PhDs, and I think half a dozen postdocs. And within that project, we established a prize that is to be given to the graduate who has produced in a particular field in sanitary engineering the best thesis, from which a paper is to be written, and to support the stay on of the person to work on that paper, a conference paper, we award $5,000 to him. Here is the winner.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Grover. And congratulations, of course. We will continue with the UWEM specialization. Ms. Alves Beloki from Uruguay. Thank you, Professor Bujanovic. And I now call on stage Professor Kennedy. And we continue with a distinction for Mr. Abu Shaban from Palestine. Mr. Aliyar Mohammed Ismail from Sri Lanka. With distinction, Mr. Bang from Korea. So young and already her 15 seconds of fame. Huh? Cool. right, we continue with Mr. Biton from Malawi. Mr. Derse from Ethiopia. And Ms. Gunatilake from Sri Lanka. Mr. Misa from Tanzania. Mr. Mauricio from Tanzania. Ms. Mzilama from Tanzania. Mr. Moniro from Tanzania. Ms. Mzirai from Tanzania. And Mr. Nungutse, sorry, I keep on trying, from Rwanda. Mr. Nyongo from Cameroon. Mr. Tiwambe from South Africa. Mr. Whittaker from Tanzania. And Mrs. Zamora Juaman from Peru. Thank you. This brings us to the water management students. I would first like to request Jeltje Kemeling, coordinator of the water management program, to the stage. And I also call on stage Professor van der Zaag. Ms. Dos Santos Silva from Brazil. Mr. Fedo from Italy. Mr. Gobosho from Ethiopia. Ms. Milicevic from Canada. Mr. Nagibi from Iran. Ms. Othman from Tanzania. Ms. Moeslodi from Botswana. Ms. Salingay from the Philippines. Mr. Adamu from Ethiopia. Mr. Bakit from Sudan. Ms. Balani from Indonesia. Ms. Clemens from Germany. Ms. Nguyen from Vietnam. Ms. Niati from Tanzania. Ms. Paramita from Indonesia. Ms. Puspita from Indonesia. Mr. Rokaya from Nepal. Ms. Phu from Vietnam. Thank you, Professor Van der Zag. I now call on stage Professor Van Dijk. Ladies and gentlemen, with distinction, Ms. Alda Vidal from Spain. Mr. Dashniani from Georgia. Mr. Gabandana from Rwanda. Ms. Musvitsva from Zimbabwe. With distinction, Ms. Neo from Malaysia. Thank you. And now we have arrived at the awarding of the Water Science and Engineering students. And first I would like to call Ali Daskuip and Professor Roelvink on stage. You're already there. In the meantime, could I get another applause for Professor Roelvink and Professor Marnet? Brilliant. Thank you. Mr. Bhakhtiar from Indonesia. Mr. Costa Borba from Brazil. Ms. Maharaji from Sri Lanka. Mr. Meva from Iran. Mr. Rahmada from Indonesia. And Ms. Sarwa from Bangladesh. Thank you, Professor Roofing. Would Professor Lichteringen please join me on stage? We continue with Mr. Nabisworo from Indonesia. Ms. Pratita from Indonesia. Ms. Ratmaningsi from Indonesia. Mr. Setiantoro from Indonesia. Mr. Yang from China. And Ms. Servo from Cyprus. Thank you, Ali and Professor Lichtingen. Would Soriari and Professor De Fraiture please join me on stage? Okay, we continue with Mr. Adene from Ethiopia. Ms. Azres from Ethiopia. Mr. Bedlowi from Indonesia. Mr. Chikungu from Malawi. Mr. Vichane from Zimbabwe. Mr. Gebre Mariam from Ethiopia. Ready for his 15 seconds of fame, Mr. Gebre Medin from Ethiopia. Mr. Ntakomba from Malawi. Mr. Nugroho from Indonesia. Mr. Nzumira from Tanzania. And with a distinction, Ms. Prabnakorn from Thailand. Mr. Silalai from Indonesia. Mr. Teka from Ethiopia. Mr. Weldebrian from Ethiopia. Thank you, Professor Suriari. Would Luigi Abrandi Marte and Professor Marnet please join me on stage? So now, Ms. Ardiana from Indonesia. Like a true James Bond, Mr. Biyashima from Rwanda. With a distinction, Mr. Duro from Argentina. Mr. Habte Mariam from Ethiopia. Mr. Ingabire from Rwanda. Mr. Mira Sahibu from Sri Lanka. And we have competition for Mr. James Bond because we have another lovely Mr. James Bond, Mr. Okoli from Nigeria. Mr. Ghazi from Pakistan. and Mr. Tekle from Ethiopia. Thank you, Professor and Luigia. Thank you. Would Schoukjan van Andel and Professor Solomatin join me on stage, please? Mr. El Toum from Sudan. Ladies and gentlemen, with distinction, Mr. Fadl Emola from Sudan. Mr. Gelo from Ethiopia. Well done. Mr. Maharjan from Nepal. Mr. Mugwiza from Rwanda. Mr. Putra from Indonesia. Mr. Shenduli from Tanzania. Ms. Li from China. Mr. Xiao from China. Mr. Song from China. With distinction, Ms. Su Tian from China. And Ms. Xu Yi from China. Thank you, Professor and Schoukjan. Thank you. Would Jochen Wenninger and Professor McLean please join me on stage? Mr. Abimbola from Nigeria. Ms. Camacho Suarez from the United States. Ms. Demise from Ethiopia. Mr. Ferdous from Bangladesh. Ms. Liande from Kenya. Ms. Maharjan from Nepal. And he already had his 15 seconds of fame, but let's give it to him again, Mr. Ogle from Kenya. Ms. Pandi from Nepal. Mr. Para Ramos from Mexico. Mr. Roca Calderon from Peru. Mrs. Senkondo from Tanzania. And Mrs. Shia from Tanzania. Thank you, Jochen and Professor McLean. I have one left. And for those of you who listened very carefully, I should say this only once, so what is that? Who should this be? Let's see. I would like to call on stage Professor Andrei Solezinaj and Professor Stefan Ullenbroek, please. Uh-oh. This is not in a scenario.
At least I have some texts. Okay. Dear Rector, dear Professor Solezinaj, dear Andras, we realize that this is the last academic ceremony for you that you are hosting today. This was already introduced by the chair of the foundation board, Dr. Holzbart. Hopefully it will not be your last ceremony. So I think it's a very good habit that the previous rectors are still attending, though we are looking forward to see you here also in the coming years. I would like to thank you for all your contributions on behalf of all the staff members, and first of all of the governing board, the foundation board, IHE Foundation, the academic board, and all colleagues of UNESCO-IHE, and last but not least, the students and our new graduates. I've been given a diploma, and the diploma is not just another diploma for you, dear Andras. It's rather an acknowledgement. You have received many awards and diploma in your professional life before, and I hope that you also are proud of receiving this little acknowledgement. I would like to introduce this diploma or acknowledgement with your favorite quote by the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. The Chinese philosopher was the founder of Taoism some 2,500 years ago. The quote says, "Nothing on earth is as weak and yielding as water, but water will wear away rock which is rigid and cannot yield. It changes in time and space. Water connects and does not divide." Dear Andras, we appreciate your never yielding commitment to the Institute, your never yielding commitment to the staff and students, never yielding communicating the importance of qualified water professionals, water leaders, needed to solve water issues at They are needed to solve water issues at various international and political and technical fora. Therefore, I would like to hand over this diploma for you.
Well, this was definitely not in the scenario. So thank you so much. But finally, I got a book. Water Wisdom. Perhaps this is high time. Thank you. I definitely come back, provided that Professor Solomatin will not fire me as a teacher at his hydroinformatics course. Thank you. Well, you see, witnesses are here. Thank you. This is it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all of you for coming. I will never forget you, and I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, professors. Well, like I said before, only a few more moments, so don't leave yet. Because first of all, let me be the first to offer my sincere congratulations to all of our UNESCO-IHE's new alumni. Yes. I hope you will remember today as a magic moment and experience it as a definite milestone in your life. When you look around you, you see your now former classmates who have had a big part in this episode of your life. How different these same people appeared to you 18 months ago, when you still had to begin to build these relationships. Now you can cherish the memories you share, learning from them, both professionally, personally, celebrating with them, maybe even sharing your ideas, hopes, dreams, hardships. You see friends from all over the world who made the same choice. They took the same chance, and they are ready to make that change together with you. Like I mentioned before, it's what makes studying at IHE such a unique experience. And I hope that this is what you take back home with you, aside from all the knowledge you have gained. I would strongly urge that all students take extremely good care of their diplomas, as they cannot be replaced. Please keep them with you or in a safe place at all times. So now we have almost reached the end of today's official program. In a few minutes you can join us in a first toast here, and afterwards we will continue at 5:30. Is that already there? I don't know. At IHE. The party starts already there, so join us, and you can enter the Institute through the front door. Before everyone leaves to celebrate his or her personal victory at the reception, don't start floating yet, please. Because first, the procession of the cortege will be the first to leave the room, and after the cortege has proceeded to the back of the church, the graduates may follow to take the group photo. It will be on that side of the church. And Andras, I hope that you will join with your tube, huh? Because now you have a diploma as well. Thanks. And then finally it is time for the celebrations and congratulations and the first toast. So may I ask you all to stand up while the procession of the cortege moves to the back of the church. Thank you. side for the group photo. The photographer has arrived, so just a second. He has to get up there. All right, all graduates, look up for the photographer. And put your tubes up. I think the photographer is trying to get the people more to the left. I feel like a flight attendant. Please go to the left. All right. Show us the tubes. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.